In this video, we will go over everything that was revealed in the Soulframe dev stream, which took place on Friday the 30th. So the next Preludes will come out very soon as announced in the dev stream, but they didn't say when, but I'm guessing this upcoming week. So the devs said that they are always looking at feedback, especially for this update, which changes everything in the game. So tell me your thoughts in the comments section because the devs might also see this video. Not only does it help me to push the video out more, but also they can see your comments as well. So without further delay, let's dive right in. So kicking things off, this massive new update is officially titled Preludes 13 Virtues. And yeah, the name really does say it all. So we're talking a complete ground-up overhaul of the very foundation that powers your class setup and every bit of customization down the line for your future builds. So this is the big reset that ties everything together and will make your character feel truly yours from the core outwards. So I'll explain how the virtue system will now work. But if you want to skip ahead to other things coming in the game, you can use the timestamp below. So right now in the current system, you've got these unassigned virtues and you have to manually tweak them by adding or subtracting points. For example, you get these plus and minus keys, and it's basically old school point allocation where you're deciding every little stat yourself. It does work, but it can feel fiddly and time-consuming, and majority of the time, players aren't really going into the virtue and changing it all the time, meaning there's still points that aren't allocated right. Well, that's all changing. Instead of doing that manually, you'll pick from a set of virtue prisms. Think of each prism as a ready-made blueprint for your whole armor set and pretty much entire class. So it automatically allocates all those points for you based on the playstyle you want. So there's no more guessing. All you need to do is just select one, and boom, your virtues are set up perfectly. Let me give you some real examples to paint the picture. Say you grab the Courage Virtue Prism, which is your classic warrior tank setup. It makes you way harder to kill, unlocks most powerful heavy armor you can equip, and pumps up your melee weapon damage so you're pretty much swinging like a beast in close combat. Basically, this prism decides your armor type for you in a way. But on the flip side, if you go for the Spirit Virtue Prism, you're shifting into a mage or cleric specialist. Your physical weapons won't hit as hard anymore, and you'll be stuck with lighter mage-focused armor, which means you have to play smarter and dodge more. So you will need to be careful up close because you can't just tank hits like the Courage build. But here's the payoff. Your spells become insanely more effective, they scale better, and you can even cast them faster. We've also got the Grace Virtue Prism for all you stealth lovers. This one makes sneaking around easier and sets you up for backstabs, or ground stabs. It also lets you nail enemies with arrows from far away. The only catch about all this is your weapons and armor have to be attuned to match the prism, or they won't perform right. To sum it up, you choose your favorite playstyle by picking a prism, then you equip the armor and weapons that align with it, and it's easy as that. Oh, and you can slot these prisms right into your loadouts as well, so you've got way more customization options. So as your character levels up, the prism takes care of everything else, meaning it automatically dumps those new points into the virtues that scale your build best, so you don't need to lift a finger, and this is also good for casual players, so it's a win-win all around. So it might look a little complicated on paper with all these options. But once we get our hands on the update, it should feel less complicated. So this is the foundation for your entire combat customization. It will be like picking a class, but way more flexible and deep. Additionally, there will even be wilder hybrid prisms beyond the pure Courage, Spirit, or Grace ones. For example, one might blend Spirit and Courage, which will give you a mix where your weapons and armor get tweaked stats right in between. But I can only really explain this when I get my hand on the new update. So this all also means the meta won't be a mess of random builds anymore. It'll push towards precise and more optimized setups that everyone can theory craft and chase. Additionally, virtues will also affect your pact abilities, but the devs didn't really go deep into this, and I don't want to give out false information. But it will affect your pact abilities somehow, but the pact won't be tied to the virtue system, so you can still change pacts no matter what virtue you're on. It sounds confusing, but I'll break that down as soon as the update is released. The devs have also confirmed that the first 6 months of this year is going to be packed with huge foundational overhauls to the game, like the Virtue Prisms we just broke down. And one of the standout changes is a total revamp of the UI in that bookshelf menu area. And I'm guessing they'll polish up the bookshelf itself at some point too, or even change it to something else. But for now, this new update will make everything so much cleaner and easier to navigate. Now, the moment you pop open the menu, it's all laid out right in front of you. You can instantly see exactly where your armor slots in, where to equip your weapons. Even the helmet spot is right there staring you in the face. So no more wasting time scrolling around, guessing, or playing hide and seek with your gear. And as I mentioned earlier, this update is massive, with a huge focus on customization, and we're finally getting face and hair customization. To get to that screen, just head over to Verminia in the brew shop, and you'll be able to tweak your appearance starting with faces and much more. This is just the first batch rolling out in version 1.0, so expect even bigger things down the line. Your base look is still tied to the mother's appearance you picked at the start of the game, but all you need to do is swing by the shop and you can change your faces preset to match your desire. And we've even got fresh hairstyles, handy face presets, plus hair colors and even highlights for the hair. Also, beards will be coming soon and face makeup's on the roadmap too. And another major addition is you can now customize your pack color as well. Next, we have 3 new weapons added to the game: the Cliver, Basker's Rest, and Seathorn. Another major update is that we will now be going to world trees to get faction quests instead of them being around the world. So you'll find these boards where you can browse and pick your tasks on the spot. Everything's centralized and right there, waiting for you, and what's even better, these boards will show you exactly what objectives are inside each task, so you're never left guessing. But this is just the very first bit of what's to come. The devs were also being super ambitious here, and they've promised ongoing updates to flesh this out. So each world tree will offer its own unique set of objectives that are tailored to keep things fresh and varied across the world. They haven't explicitly said whether these are strictly tied to specific zones or if they're more randomized, but I'm guessing it's on zone-specific ones to make exploration feel more purposeful and immersive. Either way, it's a massive step forward and I can't wait to try this out. Next is a new world boss called the Vadiger Bear, which is a world boss and is a Bromius variant, but the devs said they still need to work on the animation, but it's still coming in this update. Another big update coming to the game is a new game mode where we will now be able to siege these Ode Towers. So what you need to do is take down the mask things around it, and then the door will open, and then you destroy this centerpiece, then go up some stairs, and yeah, the devs cut it off right there. They said we can only see what will happen next when we get our hand on the update, so it makes sense that they don't want to spoil everything now. Okay, so that's everything for the major content coming, but we do have some concept art on future updates. So we have this concept art that showcases some new armor and a new pact, and this is how the real version would look, and yeah, it's pretty good. But they didn't say what abilities this pact will have. We also got a new Ode enemy variant, and another enemy which is part of the Mockery's race, or whatever they called. We also got this image, which has to do with the Sky Tower we see in the overworld. So the devs also showed us something that looks pretty interesting. It's an image of the Feyland, I'm guessing. We got a small teaser poem from one of the devs, and they said we should break it down or come up with theories on what it means. But I first wanted to get this out, and it seems like something that's got to do with lore. I'm currently working on the complete lore of Soulframe so far, and I'll break down this as well in that video, so subscribe and turn those notifications on if you're interested in that video. So Soulframe had a pretty rough start when it was first teased. The early reveals drew a ton of criticism about the clunky combat mechanics to what many felt was an over-the-top focus on cute animals at the expense of showing good combat animations and more impact during combat. And honestly, the initial combat did look rough. It was janky, had awkward animations, and it wasn't inspiring much confidence. But fast forward to now, and the transformation is impressive. Combat has leveled up dramatically. It's more deliberate and satisfying, with tighter controls, better pacing, improved weapon feel, and fresh additions like new weapons and abilities rolling out in each new Preludes updates. It no longer feels like a prototype. It's starting to click as a rewarding experience. The world itself has expanded massively too. Midrath and the surrounding areas have grown with new dense areas, dungeons, enemy camps, and secrets, interactive puzzles that unlock new gear. Although with that said, traversal remains a real pain point. There are no mounts yet, which makes crossing those huge zones on foot feel like a drag, especially as the map keeps getting bigger. Fast travel exists now through Webbit seeds at World Trees, but it's limited and item-gated to keep the game more balanced, which I completely understand. Mounts have been confirmed for 2026, but I'm really hoping for a first quarter release on that. So, it's been a serious cleanup. Hotfixes, quality of life improvements, refined systems like virtues and factions, smoother arcanics, and so much more. But with this new Preludes game overhaul, the game is looking to be something special, and I'm all here for it. So till we get our hands on the game, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.